My underwear always shows. Hi there. Hang on. We're going to do... I love the sound of this microphone. You know, I made a voiceover tape once, and I got a frickin' head cold. The day before I went in to record this thing. I made it anyway. So one of the commercials we made, it was like a NyQuil commercial. I swear to God. Anyway, but I think I have a voiceover voice, don't you? In a world where Ludwig sells 10,575 Superphonics. Yes, sir, 5 3/4 by 14 Superphonics, 8 lug. All right, so what I'm going to do, this is a part 2 on the Bonham 18-inch giant beat crash video I made yesterday. I talked to the main man, Bob Marzalek, who was Paiste Bob, okay, because we're from Chicago, we talk like this. Paiste Bob, talked to Bob, he's like, listen, I'm really happy with your video, but you committed a mortal Zeppelin sin, where I did not let the overhang of the 18-inch giant beat hang over at the end of the song. Da-da, even though I said it. If you remember some point yesterday, whenever I made the video, it was da-da-da-da-da-da, like I did it with my gab box, but I didn't actually do it here on the thing. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to get this up and running. Password is 27965. So I'm going to bring this up. We're going to listen to that, but also, too, we're going to do something else that I wanted to do. In the days before the reissue of Giant Beats, remember, Giant Beats were reissued in 2005. And I do want to say, I don't care what anybody says, but I really do think it's possible. I know this is a bold statement, that I really think, I swear to God, it's entirely possible if we did an It's a Wonderful Life, like went back in time, like if I wasn't around, I don't think they would have reissued the Giant Beats. They might have eventually. I don't think they would have done it in 2005. Because I was that pain in the ass thorn on the side that called them all the time and asked about them. Anyway, so here's the deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Immigrant Song, okay? And I realized yesterday, part of the problem with the sound yesterday, why everything was... See, stuff was distorting because I was just using YouTube. You know, Led Zeppelin's YouTube thing, so I guess they are MP3 files. Let me bring up Immigrant Song. We'll go to the end, but also, too, I'm a skull, of course. I had my headphone volume down really low, so I was cranking the main feed. Sorry. Okay, so here we go. Let's get excited. Zeppelin time, Zeppelin time, Zeppelin. Okay, so yesterday, if you recall, this is the Paiste 505 18-inch heavy crash that I was playing. Yes, Josh, if you want to shoot me an email, I will sell this to you if you want, okay? Don't get me wrong, I love the Cymbal. But I have to downside. Look at that. You know all the best pictures on eBay. When everyone figured out the exact, look at that. Oh, when you get the exact, like, meaty, perfect shimmery of Paistedom, Merzilgendom. You know, when you take your pictures a la Hazel should. Hazel should, I think, Hazel should milk this for a while, but he's got his Cymbal thing down to a science. He's got that Oriental rug, God love him. He's a nice guy, I met him once. Anyway, so this Cymbal, 18-inch heavy crash 505, 1980. Well, actually, you know, I said it was from 82 yesterday, but it's actually from 84. This one does have a serial number. 84, 1598 grams, which is it's a heavy 18. Shut up, genius. Okay, and here I have a Paiste 502 Plus. You know where I was going originally when I said back in 2005? What I was going to say is before I went off on my little egotistical rant thingy, we Paiste addicts had to find ersatz. We had to find substitutes for giant beats, since the only ones before 2005 existed were the ones they made in 1967-ish to the mid-late 70s. Yes, sir, according to Bob. So there's a couple giant beats floating around out there with the 1977 stamp on them, okay? Serial number. So, one of the Cymbals I found to be closest, in fact, the style of Cymbal I found to have a very distinct tonal characteristic of original giant beats, are the 502s, the Cymbals that they made, the B8 lower line Cymbals they made in the German factory that they sold. which started with the bronze 502. Now I have a bronze 502 here somewhere, which is very much sounds like it. But then what they did is they went from the bronze, Paiste did, bronze 502 to just the 502. Those were kind of clunkery. The cymbals are good if you're on stage. They actually really cut through really well, but purely like musicality, like up close and stuff, they have a lot more of the regular B8 alloyness that a lot of the other companies like Zildjian and Sabian can't get past. Even though the plain old 502 sound better than Zildjian's and Paistes. Zildjian and Sabian's B8 offerings. Although Zildjian and Sabian are getting better with their B8. But still, Paiste knows B8. Remember, I've said that. I should have patented it. I might have. That should be one of Paiste's many logos. Paiste knows B8. Anyway, back roundabout to this cymbal, I found what happened was they had the 502s, which were just sort of totally like mechanically laid, but then they came out with a process, they called it the plus process. The 502 plus, they also did on the 302, which were brass cymbals, the 302 plus, and also the 802, which was like a step up from the 502s, the 802 plus, okay? Now the 802 plus finish was a little different looking than this, but it almost looks like, these finishes look like they're almost pressed into the cymbal. Okay, like instead of like the cymbal spinning real fast, which did happen here, the whole bell and the underside of the bell are definitely, the cymbal is spinning and it is lathed. But once they get from here on out, the shoulder to the edge, well, the finish is actually, looks like it just is pressed through to the bottom. But I don't know how they do it. Eric Paiste really didn't say, nor did I expect him to. I did talk to him about it, and he really liked this process. I really did too. It really gave a great sound to the cymbals, but I think because they did it on the lower line cymbals, the 302, the 502, and the 802, it kind of gave it a cheap look. People just assumed it was sort of like a cheap trick. My hat's off to Bunny. Bunny, maybe I'll see you at the drum show in a couple of weeks. And Randy. All right, so now the dude, I got this cymbal from a dude. He took off the 502 plus. He just, I think he didn't want that on there. So I got it from him in a trade. This is a Crash Ride model. This one and the Crash model. The Crash Ride really seems to have the most original Giant Beat mojo. Okay, so let me just play this real fast. So hang on. I'm going to get this microphone out of here. Hang on, let me mute it. Hang on. See, I'm trying to get it more high tech. So here it is, watch. That's original Giant Beat tone all the way, okay? So people used to read the posts I put up on cymbalholic.com and the DFO and stuff where I would always talk about these. These were really a great substitute for an original Giant Beat. Of course, then the reissues came along in 2005, which are a different cymbal. They sound great and have a great many of the original Giant Beat traits, but they're not really 100% on. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Not like, well, it's not entirely there, so, and to tell you the truth, and I've said this before in my videos, Paiste hit 900 home runs with the reissue Giant Beats. They're probably the best sounding B8 cymbal there is, or at least up until this point. The 900 series that just came out sound pretty good too. But anyway, so listen, so I'm again going to play a few things of Zeppelindom here that shows that crash again. Now, I demonstrated in that video yesterday, this 505 heavy crash. But what happens is if you could take like maybe 63% of this and 37% of this, you'd have that classic Giant Beat sound. To be honest, I think really more the recorded Giant Beat sound, because a lot of what makes Bonham's cymbals sound the way they do, at least those Giant Beats, is also, I think, like the limiters and stuff they use too. I mean, listen to how the cymbals are affected, like in Beatles stuff. Da, 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 she got mojo in the that. Listen, I mean, the cymbals really can the limiters really let the cymbals decay a little more, or appear to decay more. So that has a lot to do with it too. But what I'm saying is, anyway, like I said yesterday, I don't know if I said that in the video. I guess I did, and I've said it all the time. The original 505s, or I should say the 505s, have the original giant beat shape, as do the 2000s and the 3000s. This does not have the original giant beat shape. This is the shape more like the, almost identically, remember the old Cymbals? Like the old Cymbals, like the old nickel silver ones with that big, I mean, I had a 24-inch Cymbal ride once where it looked almost proportionally like this, like the relative size. The bell was massive with a little teeny like 7/16 hole. But anyway, so this is shaped not like a giant beat, but it is a nice flat profile. Where am I going with this? My point is this. So here we go. So like at the end of Immigrant Song, okay? So let's bring that up, shall we? Shall we? Okay, so I'm going to get it on here. I'm going to get it on. Now bear with me for a second though. So what I'm going to do is let me just mute. Just bear with me. Can you bear with me? Somebody, bear with me. It's muted, okay? So I'm going to bring it up here. So, how's your day coming? Hopefully it's okay. Oh. I love how there's no bass there. And then a little bass comes in. Little bit here, but then the beefcake bass. The hammer of the gods. Drive those ships to new land. So we're going to go to the end. Okay, so remember that 18-inch giant beat is hanging over. So let me hook up the old apparatus. This is it here. Got to have so many wires. Let me get with the program. So this is where this plugs in. Oh, hang on. Before we let me get to the... Oh, that's it. I got right on there. So is it 2... So we'll do the whole outro. From where he says, ooh... It seems to speed up a little there for a bar. I wonder if Jimmy Page took a segment from another take and inserted it in the drum department. Anyway, so here we are from the beginning of the ooh, whoa, whoa. So that's what we're going to hear. Okay? So here we go. I'll try to fix the volume thing. Listen, here we go. I don't know if I can play this all the way through because the Led Zeppelin detecto bots might find this. So hang on. So this... God. Sorry. I'm not going to go... I was really worried there about the Led Zeppelin Detecto YouTube robot bots that can find the music. But listen to how that crash hangs over, okay? Again, listen to this. Now, of course, here you're hearing a... you do hear that in there. That gets EQ'd out. And plus, you know, when it's good, you don't hear as much as that. Plus, two, I call that like the platey, sort of the... It's like the... Well, let's just say I don't really like that portion of the sound when cymbals have that, but listen to that sound of the cymbal. Listen. The attack, the tone, and the decay. In fact, I think if you took this cymbal and you lathed it, literally exactly as it... Well, first off, if you shaved maybe a few grams off this baby. I think this one's about 1530. But if you put the giant beat... perfect fine lathing on the top. I mean, I know I said I love this, you know, treatment they did, but if you lathe this like a giant beat, it might sound almost exactly, at least like the studio recording of this cymbal. Here it is. Here it is. Honest to God. All right. So that's the addendum. Again, let me mute that just in case. More videos on the way again. Maybe the next one's going to be me with George and Paiste Bob doing the giant beat scene, okay? I have to synchronize that, though, honestly. You do, because everybody's adults and it's hard to... No one's busy. But I think they'd make room for it. I got to make room for it. It would be great, though, man. We're going to sit and talk about these giant beats and Zepp and everything. It'll be great. So be prepared. Please subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for watching my videos.
This video brought to you by Terry Keating Greatest Hits. Look for it on eBay.